Hello all, Andrea here with I Dream of Crafting. Today I'm going to do a time-lapse painting since I haven't done one in a while. I needed a break from making all my wallets and roses and things like that. So today's time-lapse will be on this really cute picture of baby Groot from the Guardians of the Galaxy. I am going to freehand his little flower pot that you see in the movie. I got this template from another video on YouTube, how to make baby Groot cupcakes. They are adorable and I cannot wait to try them. But this is where I got the template from. So I will leave that link in the description below and you can check out that video. It's very, very cute. So credit goes to him for the image. Thank you very much. And yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be using poster board since my Walmart hasn't been stocking the canvas like they usually do, so I haven't been able to get 8x10 canvas in a really long time. So I decided to go with poster board. This is 8x10. I had a big sheet of poster board. It's huge, and I just cut out an 8x10 piece of cardboard, and I have already lined my background color or pattern. As you can see, I decided to go with flowers because, you know, Groot can make flowers, and I thought it would be better than just like a one color for the background. So I thought this would be really cute. So I'm hoping. Looks cute there, but we'll see. So that is step one. Cut your poster board or get an 8x10 canvas, however you want to do it, and then cover your background. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need it for an 8x10 canvas. Well, yeah, canvas. But for 8x10, you need at least 5 strips, maybe 6. I really can't see 6 though. But 5 strips of tape, and overlap by at most 1/4 of an inch. You don't really want to overlap too much because you don't want these ridges to be very noticeable. So I know some people who don't overlap at all. They just line it up right where the last one ends. I like to overlap a little bit just to give it some strength, but do not overlap more than 1/4 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch should be your maximum. So that is step one, and we have this right here. So we will get started. The supplies you will need are, of course, a template of what you want to do, size to what you need. So you can put this in, you can put any image into a Word document and then stretch it or shrink it depending on, you know, how big or small. I have this little baby Groot. Where is it? I have this little tiny one, which is the bigger or the smaller cousin to this one. And all I did was I took this image and put it in Word, and I just shrunk it down very, very small. So I will probably be using that for like a wallet or something. That was my idea. So, template, you will need a very sharp X-Acto knife, a new blade if you have one, of course your canvas or your poster board, duct tape, as many colors as you need. I need a lot. And clear tape to hold down your pattern, a cutting board, maybe a ruler, maybe scissors. That's a maybe. I almost never use those. So let's get started. Okay, so with like any other painting or decal you do, you want to try and work from the inside out. So I'm going to do his eyes first, and I'm just going to freehand the whites of his eyes because they're too small to really do anything about it. You're going to see me do a lot of cutting in this time-lapse. My blade was not a new blade. I didn't have any new blades on hand, so I had to work with the sharpest one I had, which wasn't very sharp. So you're going to see me do a lot of cutting, a lot of trimming to get things to release. So I decided I wanted the black outline to contrast the flowers. I was worried that the brown would kind of, you know, not look right. So I wanted a background for Groot. So I'm just very carefully cutting on the outside of that black line so that I can get my outline, and then after that I will cut inside the black line to, you know, get the actual Groot in brown tape. This looks really fast, but it's 8 times normal speed. That actually took me a really long time. This will be interesting to see how long it takes me to do this in 8 times normal speed, because it took me a very, very long time to pull all this up. So you see me cutting and cutting and cutting. My knife was not anywhere close to being sharp as it should have been. But that is next on my list of things to buy, are new X-Acto blades. So, but it turned out alright considering. So the top of his head is a little weird because he has those ridges. But it wasn't too bad. Just releasing his arms now. His arms weren't too bad in the black, but in the brown they got really, you know, really thin. So, you'll see that in a second though. Now I'm going to place the silhouette here. And I usually place the paper down, you know, first, but I didn't want to mess with this time, and it's all one silhouette. So I just eyeballed it and made it, you know, as straight as I could. Keeping in mind that I had to also put the flower pot on the bottom, but that was the last thing I had to do. So here's the brown, which is the main part of his body. And I'm gonna take more tape here and hold down his arms, because I didn't want to have to worry about holding them down while trying to cut them, because Groot is not the easiest character to cut out just because he's, you know, a plant. So he's got a lot of ridges, and yeah, even baby Groot has, you know, a lot of curves. So I just wanted to hold everything down, not have to worry about it. Once again, this is going to take a while. And it took, you know, 8 times as long in real time. It could be that's why it took longer than I was expecting, because my knife wasn't very sharp. But you gotta work with what you got. And here's his very skinny arm. Well, his arm isn't too bad. His fingers, I guess. His little branches there are kind of thin. Amazingly, I did not break anything doing this time lapse. I usually break at least one thing trying to get it off the board, but I did not break anything. I was very proud of myself. So I had to pretty much freehand the top of his head, because the blade did not penetrate the duct tape through the paper, which was awesome. So I had to freehand that. Still freehanding. So I just kind of had to, I was looking at the silhouette and trying to just freehand. Very carefully pulling his arms up. Like I said, they're very thin. So just be very careful. Then I'm placing it, and I was so happy that everything lined up within the silhouette. I was so happy to see that. So here I'm just taking off some of the, what do you call it, the string that duct tape has as a reinforcer on their tape. And now I'm going to place the eyes. I had almost forgotten about them. So there's the eyes. Now we are going to work on the vines that, well, now we're doing his mouth. I just freehanded the mouth. It's really thin on the paper, so I didn't want to have to deal. There's his mouth, and now we're going to do the vines that run across his body. This I thought was kind of funny. He looks like kind of Chewbacca. A little Chewbacca. But, I'm just placing these and cutting off where they meet the silhouette, so that I can have that black line around him. But I'm doing this in such a way that it gives the illusion that it could be wrapped around his body. So they're all going pretty much the same direction in how they would if they wrapped it around. So, lots of spatial thinking on this one. So now I'm going to do the flower pot. You see I have that design in cardboard. I was actually doing Baby Groot. I will show you a picture after this video. And I had a template that I made for that. So I already had the flower pot actually sized, which was nice. So I guess it's not technically free-handed, but it kind of was, because I free-handed it for the other one. So here's gray tape. This is going to be like a shadow, or at least I wanted it to be reminiscent of a shadow, just to give the pot a little bit of depth. And I wanted that top shadow to be a bit thicker, so I redid it. So, while I'm figuring out the shadows, the next part will be the leaves. And, well, actually this part will be the top of his head, because the top of his head actually is green. It's not all brown. So I decided just to quickly cut that out and then cut a little bit of, extra off of there so that it's not, so it doesn't look like a hat. Okay, and now we're going to do leaves. Leaves are really, really simple. Just use the bottom of your tape as the bottom of your leaf, and then just cut little triangles. And make sure the triangles, don't make the lines for the, don't make the lines of the triangle straight. Kind of make a teardrop shape, almost, an upside down teardrop shape. And you can make them big or small, however you want. I wasn't being too precise with them because they're leaves. All leaves grow at, different rates, so some are going to be big, some are going to be small. I'm cutting out just jagged areas here so that it doesn't look like all one piece. I wanted it to be a little jagged. This is a last minute addition. I decided to add a little saying. You can see my horrible bubble letters. I am terrible at bubble letters, always have been, but I tried. I let it go because it kind of looks like comic book letters. So it actually turned out really well. So, started with I am, which is, of course, part of a saying. And now I'm going to do Groot. And then after that I'm going to figure out the little bubble, word bubble, in white. So, just going around. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't being too precise with the letters because I wanted them to be a little comic book-esque, and comic book letters are a little interesting to begin with. So they're all kind of different sizes and they're off-centered and things like that, and the spacing is weird. I don't know if anyone reads comic books. I do. So the comic book, you cannot mistake that lettering at all. So, last minute addition as well, I decided to do a little explanation point there because I think I felt it needed something. So here I'm just drawing a circle around that and a little speech bubble and white tape, clear tape to hold it down, and we're going to go around. And after I place the letters on, I'm actually going to resize the bubble. But here I'm placing the letters, and it's good if you put your first letter down and then put your last letter or character down and then work from there so that you can size everything the way you want it. Like I said, as you can see, the I am, there's a big space in there, but that's very reminiscent of a comic book. The spacing is always kind of weird. So I just shrunk the bubble a bit, and there we go. Alright everyone, here's the end of the time lapse. I am Groot. That was kind of a last minute addition, but I think it kind of, adds a little more to the picture. This took a little longer than I was expecting. Groot gave me some trouble, and it also didn't help that my X-Acto knife wasn't as sharp as I would hope, but it happens. I really like how it came out though. I think it's really cute. So if you like this time lapse, please give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, or requests, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And I hope to see you in the next video.